Most people are washing their car wrong, and that's why they're getting swirl marks, spider webbing, water spots, and a whole host of different things. So in this video, what I'm going to show you is how to use the super soaper so you can eliminate those things that I just mentioned and honestly save a bunch of time. So we're going to cover not only what the super soaper is, how to use it, who it's for, and the variety of ways that it can be used. So all that and more coming up in this video. So the super soaper comes in a 16-ounce bottle or a gallon. Both formulations are exactly the same. You just obviously get more with the gallon. And the super soaper was really meant for modern washing, or how I believe that we wash cars now. You see, when I ran my test and when I was developing the super soaper, I ran it against the traditional soaps, the pH neutral soaps that maybe foamed really well, but didn't have any cleaning ability. So when I set out to design the super soaper and develop it, I wanted something that, yes, foamed a lot, but that foam had to be functional. So it had to do something. It had to actually clean your car. With the premise that, like, every time we touch our car, we'd run the risk of scratching it. I wanted something that would actually clean the car for me. So not only I could save time, but I could be safer in my wash methods. And it works in a whole host of ways. So a traditional foam cannon, we have a mini foam cannon, we have a garden hose foam cannon, we have a pump sprayer, we have an electric handheld sprayer, we have another foaming pump sprayer, and so it works in a variety of different ways. It's also safe on ceramic coated cars, it's safe on cars that are just have a wax on them, it's safe on unprotected cars, and a whole host of this. This isn't your kind of old school car wash soap. This is a very modern car wash soap formulation meant to be used in the modern way of how we wash cars now. So the soap is designed for a few different categories of people. Those who have ceramic coated cars and want to clean their ceramic coated car very efficiently. The soap is also made for people who just want a very good cleaning soap. This is not a high pH soap, but it is a higher pH. So where a standard pH might fall in like 7.5 to 8, this is going to be 9 when it's 9 to 10 when it's diluted in a foam cannon. But by the time the foam is actually hitting your the surface of your car, it's going to be pH neutral. So it's very unique in that it has a ton of cleaning ability while staying in that pH neutral range. It's also going to be a very, very high foaming soap. So you're going to get a ton of suds. But again, it's not just for theatrics. That foam is actually functional. It's actually doing something. It's cleaning it. So whether you're a pro, you're a DIYer, you're a weekend warrior, whatever you are, if you just want a really good cleaning soap, this is going to be the soap for you. And if you've been doing the old school 2-bucket method, thinking that it's a safer way to wash your car, it's actually not. And this soap, though, will help you cut down time and actually make for a much safer wash. One of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do I dilute the super soaper? So it is designed to be 4 ounces into a 32-ounce foam cannon. Add your water first and leave room for about 4 ounces of soap. We'll talk, this is my favorite way to use it, and I'm actually going to be demoing it with the foam cannon. So I will show you a couple adjustments that I make to make that very efficient. But there is a whole host of other ways to use it, and other dilutions follow the guide of 1 ounce of soap to 1 gallon of water. So if you're going to use, if you still use the traditional 2-bucket method, and you're going to use a bucket of soap, 1 ounce of product for every gallon of water into a foam cannon. A pump sprayer is a great way to use it if you're going to like a coin-op car wash, if you want to do some pre-soaking. Again, 1 ounce to 1 gallon in a pump sprayer. As you dilute it down into smaller pump sprayers, you can adjust accordingly. So whether that's a ½ ounce or 1 ounce, if you want to do a little bit heavier of a concentration in the pump sprayers, again, whether that's a battery operated one like this or something like a handheld pump sprayer, your choice as well. In a garden hose foam cannon, you would follow the 4 ounce to 32 ounces, depending upon how big your reservoir is for the garden hose foam cannon. And then if you're using one of these really cool non-diluted things, you obviously would not dilute it at all. You would fill this completely up with soap, and you could adjust the dial on the top accordingly if you're getting too much foam. So again, it could be used in a whole host of different ways. 1 ounce to 1 gallon if you're using it in any other way other than a traditional foam cannon in which you put 4 ounces of soap into this. So that is the way I'm going to demo it. I'm going to take it outside. I'm going to show you how I do it and how I think you could get the most out of the Super Soaper. The most being the most amount of foam, the most amount of cleaning ability, and kind of the modern way to wash a car. So if you don't have a pressure washer or a foam cannon, that is where the pump sprayers can really come in handy. If you don't have an area to wash your own car and you're going to the kind of coin op or the paint sprays, that's where having a pump sprayer could come in. But either way, whether you're using a pump sprayer or a foam cannon, I always foam a dry car, always. I never do a pre-rinse. I noticed, and in my testing, a pre-rinse does just a couple things, waste a bunch of water and waste a bunch of time, but it's not really doing anything. And so I'm always foaming a dry car. Now, you can use this soap in direct sun. It is not going to create any water spots. If you foam this whole entire car and let it dry in the sun, which I don't recommend, but sometimes does happen, as long as the soap is on the car, you will not be getting any water spots. How this soap is also different, though it has great cleaning ability, it is not going to stain, it is not going to dry out any rubber of the moldings, it's not going to dry out your tires, it's not going to dry out anything, and you have no risk of staining. Sometimes with other products that use a high pH and a low pH and they're having you foam both, you really run the risk of drying out plastics, staining things, and creating a real mess. So for my setup, I do have deionized water, but even working in direct sun, this is 100% safe in direct sun. And as long as the soap is on the car, you will not get water spots if you're not using deionized water. So my favorite way to use it is in a foam cannon. Again, 4 ounces of soap into the 32-ounce foam cannon. And what I will do is I will use the dial on top to adjust how much foam I'm getting, how much foam I'm sucking out of here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna foam a dry car. I do the foam, rinse, foam again, and I'll get into that, but I'm gonna foam on the car, and I'm gonna let the chemistry of the product do the work. This is one area that you could really eliminate any scratching or swirling, because what most people do is they will rinse with water, which does not remove enough of the contamination on the car. Then they go in with their wash mitt and they have a lot of dirt still on the car. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around the whole entire car, foam it up, and let it dwell for as long as possible. 3 to 5 minutes is ideal for the foam to dwell on the car, because the foam is actually helping you clean the car. So the longer you can leave the foam on the car, the better, without it completely drying up. So let's go around for this first initial foam. Again, the whole process is gonna be a foam dry car. We're gonna rinse that foam off. We're gonna foam it a second time. And on that second time foaming is when we will go in with our contact wash. But I'll show you how clean the surface actually is even after the first foam, before we ever go in with our contact wash. And then I will show you a couple hacks that I use when doing a contact wash, because what I don't have around me is buckets. We are no longer doing the 2-bucket method. Okay, now that we've foamed the whole entire car, again, we want to let the foam dwell for as long as possible. Not kind of a major important detail, but something that is worth considering is how the foam looks on the car, or how thick the foam is on the car. As you can see, some of it is running off, but a lot of it is still clinging to the panel. So you want to get as much clinging onto the car as possible. That is why we're foaming a dry car again. And as we'll flip over to the sunny side, because the sun we have one shaded side, one sunny side, the foam does not dry up super quickly in the sun. Again, being sun friendly, my background is a mobile detailer. I always detailed in the sun. And so being sun friendly is a big deal, but I wanted something that was able to dwell and not dry out immediately. Sometimes we'll have where we foam a car and it literally, you know, starts drying up immediately. So 3 to 5 minutes, depending upon how hot it is where you are. I think I'm gonna be able to get 3 to 4 minutes. If you do have pockets that start to dry, it's no big deal to just refoam over it if you want, or if it's really hot, you know, it's 145 degrees wherever you are, and you're getting less dwell time, that is okay, but it's not ideal. Again, the foam is functional. The foam on the car is actually doing something, not just looking pretty. And so leaving it on the car for as long as possible is ideal. Even after 3 to 4 minutes, you can see we're starting to get some drying up here, but again, no water spots. Now this car is also ceramic coated with the gloss spots, but you can even see 4 minutes, direct sun. It's hot out today, or hotter out today. It is still clinging to the paint, and this is how we're eliminating scratches, swirls, water spots, any issues. The soap is clinging to the paint, even in direct sun. Sure, we're getting some drying on the rims and tires, and that's totally fine. That's totally normal. Those are coated too. Everything's coated, but this is what I want it to look like when it's time to dry or start rinsing, our first initial rinse. So what I'm actually going to do though is I'm going to start on the dry or the shaded side of the car. Even though I'm using deionized water and I never have to worry about water spots, it's a good habit to rinse from the shaded side to the sunny side. That way you're letting the soap, again, as long as the soap is on the surface, you're never going to have to worry about water spots. So if I were to rinse the sunny side first, this would be bare water on the surface, getting all the sun, it's going to start drying. So I'm going to start on the shaded side to give myself a little bit more time to dry the car, thus eliminating water spots. So I'm going to start rinsing this off, starting with the other side, and work my way to the sunny side. Okay, so that was just our initial foaming. So the idea and the goal of that first foam is to pull as much of the dirt and debris and contaminants off the surface as possible, because we're gonna re-foam the car again and then go in for a contact wash if needed. Sometimes this car's ceramic coated, it wasn't all that dirty, I didn't go through any winter storms. Sometimes you can do the first foam rinse and you're done. And what I want to show you is I have a completely clean microfiber towel, and the surface of this car is virtually spotless. There's no dirt on that towel whatsoever. Even on the top parts of the car, no dirt whatsoever. Go to this panel right here, swipe there, and even up top, and there is no dirt on the surface. What may still be there if you did go through a winter storm or anything like that would be, there might be some traffic film that is literally stuck on the surface. And so sometimes what will happen is, though you get the big bulk majority of the stuff off, and in my case I could go straight to drying this car, this surface is completely clean, as I just demonstrated. But sometimes if you go through a winter storm or you know, really nasty weather, there's going to be some road grime that is completely broken down but still stuck on the surface, and that's going to look like a little shadow on the surface. That is totally normal. The dirt has been completely broken down. It's just we haven't completely separated the bond of the surface. And so in that case, that second foam that I talked about, you're going to want to do the second foam, which I'll show you in a second, and then you're going to go in with your contact wash, of which I use these orange wash microfiber towels. And I'm still not using any buckets, because what's great about a microfiber towel is you have 8 different sides. So you can use one towel to virtually work through the whole entire car. And so I will show you that now, but what I wanted to demonstrate is how clean the surface of this car is, so that when we go in with our contact wash, we are not risking any scratching, any spider webbing, anything like that. The soap has done the vast majority of the cleaning for us, and we're just going to go up in detail around it. But honestly, if your car is ceramic coated, you might be able to just foam the dry car, rinse it, and be done. But again, there's a lot of variables in this. There's a lot of different climates. There's a lot of different driving conditions. There's a lot of different variables. So I'm going to show you kind of all the variables, or as many as I can, for this video. So while the car is still wet, I'm going to re-foam it right now, and then I'm going to go in with my contact wash, and then I will rinse it again. The goal on that first foam is to use about half of the foam cannon. Now, obviously on this particular cannon, it gets wider the deeper or the further it goes, so you are actually going to have a little bit more than half left. But the ideal scenario is on your first initial foam, you're using half the foam cannon, and on the second foam, you will use the remaining bit of the foam cannon to make sure you have foam on the car. And after we get done foaming for the second time, I'm going to give you a couple options or a couple hacks of things that you could do while that second foam is dwelling on the car, because you already have a clean surface. So now that you have a clean surface, not only is it going to be safer for a contact wash, but it's also going to allow you to even clay bar the car if you want to, and use the soap as a clay bar lube on that second foam. So let's get to the foam. So this is where you have a couple different options on the second foam that are really fun. If the car needs to be clay barred, you have a ton of soap that is very lubricious on the car acting as a clay lube. You could run over this whole entire car with like a clay towel if you want. This car obviously doesn't need it, it's ceramic coated. What I like to do in my personal preference is I'll take like a truck brush of any sort, because I know that the surface is completely clean, and I will use it on all the hard to reach high areas. I'll use a brush for that. And then when it comes to the lower areas, say like this panel, I will use the orange wash towels because I just like microfiber towels, and I will go through and do my contact wash on the whole entire car. And when I get done with each panel, I don't know if you could zoom in on that, but you can see there's no dirt in the foam. The dirt has been lifted off the surface. The only thing that you will ever get left with is a little bit of road film, because it's very hard to break that bond of the road film to the car paint, though most times it will be removed if you're in a winter storm. Again, I'm trying to speak for all situations. You may need a contact wash, but even in the contact wash, there's zero dirt in that. So this is completely safe. But what I even do is I flip to a fresh side of that towel when I go to work a bigger or a second panel. And then just from the top down, I'm not pressing hard at all, feeling how that mitt just gliding across the surface. And once I get to these lower panels, I'd never go back up to the higher panels, right? So that, but even touching the lower panels, that foam is completely clean. So I'm gonna go around, do the rest of the car like that, the higher areas with the brush, the lower panels just with the contact wash. So there you have your second foam, your contact wash. This is completely ready to rinse down, and if you have deionized water, you could literally drive away and your car is going to be completely spotless. If you don't have deionized water, I'm going to show you how you could quickly dry your car, but this is a full wash with the super soaper, how to get the most out of it. And so let's do this final rinse, and then we'll move on to drying. As you can see, the super soaper did not kill the hydrophobics of the ceramic coating. It actually works really well with the coating to clean the surface, restore those hydrophobics sometimes, but most importantly, it's not drying out any of the plastics, as I talked about. It's not killing any of the hydrophobics of the ceramic coating. And so, but this can be the most dangerous part of a car wash if you do not have deionized water. And so you need a very, very quick way to get rid of this water on the car. And that's why I also have the XL drying towel or the massive drying towel, because you could dry a whole car like this very, very quickly. I'll show you real quick. Like that, and you could go through the whole entire car. And the best part is that actually a lot of scratching happens during the drying process. But as I demoed, there's no dirt left on the surface, so you virtually have nothing to worry about when you're using a big drying towel. If you did use like a 2-bucket method, you might still be leaving stuff on the surface, which then gets caught in your towel. And when you glide it across the surface, it's gonna pick up those particles, and that's where you can really introduce scratching and spider webbing and stuff like that. But if you do not have deionized water, now that the soap is off the car, you really need to move quickly. And so having a big drying method like this or a blower will significantly help your cause. So yeah, that is how you could get the most out of the Super Soaper. That is every possible way that you could use the Super Soaper. There are some off-label uses. You could actually use it to clean an engine compartment. I showed you the clay lube. Some people are putting like 1 or 2 ounces and using it as window washer fluid. That is another off-label use. There are tons and tons of ways. All my products are super versatile and meant to be easier on you. As you can see, other than doing the contact wash, which was very little labor, it is not exhausting to wash your car with the Super Soaper, which was the whole point. How can we make this not only safe, but also fun to do and not super labor intensive, which is why every piece and every part of that formula has a purpose. And so yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that video. That's how you can get the most out of the Super Soaper. I will link everything below for those of you watching over on YouTube. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.